Our learning objectives today is the first learning objective. The participant will learn how to restore a Connect 12 tablet to its default setting. And this can be very useful at the beginning of the year when you're sharing the Connect 12 with a school, inside a school, and multiple students can use these devices, and you want to reset the whole tablet for a new student. Again, this is for if the tablet was used previously by a student and you want to share this tablet with a new student. This is the procedure on how to reset the whole tablet. Objective 2, the participant will learn how to configure the applications of his Connect 12 as well as his or her Google account. And then the third objective today will be the participant will learn how to connect the Connect 12 to the internet or to a school network, and how to pair the distance camera. These are frequently asked questions, by the way, and I'm pretty sure this will help a lot of people. If you do have any question during the webinar, please type it in the chat, and I'll try to answer as we move along, or when we're going to have our question period. Now, Herrick, I'm going to ask you a little question here. Can you see my camera? Because I can't see my camera. Oh, there we go. I got my camera.
Yeah. I can see you.
Good. So now I spotlighted my camera because we're going to switch right away to my Connect 12. Let's get this show on the road. So again, if people had previously attended a PH webinar, we've covered this in two APH webinar already, but I found this very interesting because sometimes it's not the same population that attends these two webinars. So that's why we're doing it for a Connect 12 now. The APH Mat Connect is approximately the same as the Connect 12 with the little tweaks here and there in the software to make it their own. So to reset a tablet, basically I have my tablet right now on the on position, or on turned on, and I'm in Prodigy right now. So what you want to do, the first thing you want to do is go into Android. So you can use a find shortcut, which is 5-finger or 4-finger, press and hold on the screen. And here you're brought to the Android desktop. As you can see a bit of reflection on my screen here because the screen is black. And I'm in my basement right now, at home, working in COVID style. So bear with me for these little reflection here. But what you want to do is that you want to go into settings, which is going to be the little icon right in the middle bottom part of the screen with 6 little small round black dots. Inside your settings, or inside your application list in Android, what you want to do is you want to select settings from this list. And in settings, you want to go inside the list, find accounts. Because the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to delete the account, the Google account that was linked to this Connect 12. So here I have one account, which is my Google account. So I'm going to click on it. And then on the top right corner, there are like a hamburger style icon, which is 3 dots, one on top of the other, right on the top right corner. And if you tap on that, you will have remove account. So click on remove account. This will remove all the accounts and everything that's related to this on this tablet, not in the cloud. So your information, if it's all stored in the cloud, won't be deleted. It will only delete all your messaging or all your contacts and all your data from the tablet. So I'm going to click here on the pop-up to remove my account. Once that's done, you can use the little back button on the bottom again, the left corner here, and to go back into my settings. And then in my options here, there is in the personal tab or personal window in my settings, there is an option called backup and reset. So what you want to do is you want to tap on backup and reset. And then in this window, there is an option called factory data reset. So what you can do is tap on that again. And then there's going to be a big warning. This will erase all the data on your tablet, internal storage, blah, blah, blah. that's what I want to do. So I'm going to reset. I'm going to tap on the button called Reset Tablet. And again, a warning, yes, I want to erase everything. So I'm going to tap on Erase Everything. And what it's going to do, it's going to reboot the tablet into a kind of a special mode that will erase everything inside. So you can wait here. That's going to take a couple of minutes. And then once it's done, you're going to be brought to the Android tutorial. And then we're going to start setting up that Connect 12 for you. So here you see that little Android saying that it's erasing everything. Once it has erased everything, it depends on how much data you have on the tablet, how long it's going to take, but you just stick to it and you wait until the whole tablet is in the tutorial mode, which is going to be a big blue screen. And the first question will be to select where you are in the world. And by default, it's going to be set to United States. So here we're going to wait. And again, I'm going to emphasize on this. You do this if a student has already used the Connect 12 previously and you want to pass this device to a new student to be used. If you have any questions on all this procedure, please do type it in the chat and we'll try to answer as we move along.
We can definitely appreciate the wiring on your ceiling.
Again, I'm sorry about that. We're stuck at home, and I hope everybody's keeping safe at home and keeping healthy to keep this pandemic behind us, and we can go back to normal living.
Yes, soon.
So again, Eric has been with Humanware for not long. Eric, how long? How many weeks now?
Starting my 4th week this week. So let's say a month. Still fresh.
So he's learning all these nice products that we have. We especially the Connect 12, the Reveal 16, Reveal 16i. Again, if you have a Reveal 16i and you know about the Reveal 16i, you can do the same procedure as what we're doing here on the Connect 12. Great. With all this little small talk, we're in the tutorial mode of Android. So right here, like I said, it's going to ask you where are you coming from. And here we're going to select English, United States, because the majority of you guys are from the United States. So I'm going to click on the little yellow button right underneath. Then the next step in this tutorial will be to connect yourself to a Wi-Fi network. This is useful to connect your account and also to download and install the Prodigy software. So what you want to do is you find your network and then enter your password. So I don't mind you seeing my password right now because I'm in Canada, so I don't think you're going to be able to see my Wi-Fi.
You're out of range for us. So.
Yeah. So here I'm connected to my internet, and then what's going to happen is that you're going to have a window from Prodigy popping up saying, you have an update to install. This first window that pops up, please ignore it. So that first window will ignore it. So I'm going to click on cancel for now because I want to finish this Google tutorial first, or this Android tutorial first. Once I'm done, then the next question is that you can take another device and copy all your settings or all your applications to this one. For this purpose, I'm going to say no thanks, and I'm going to click next at the bottom right corner of the screen.
So Eric, if I understand correctly, the pop-up for the Prodigy install update would be coming at a later date. It will receive that pop-up shortly after?
Yes, you'll receive either the pop-up or I'll show you how to start the update manually.
Sounds good.
Once you've selected that you don't want to copy anything from another device, it's going to ask you, do you want to sign in to a Google account? So if the student is with you, or if the person that's going to be using the Connect 12 is with you configuring this tablet, then you can enter the email address. So for my security, I'm just going to enter my email and then my password. So I'm not going to show you my password on my Google account if you don't mind, because then that you will have to. I'm going to be in trouble. So I'm just going to enter my email, and then the next question is to enter your password. And once you've done that, it's going to give you. Yep.
Can you tilt down the tablet a little more? Yeah, we did get that request.
Yeah, the only thing is
more.
that there's a little reflection there.
Okay, because we did get the question from a user here. All right.
Is this kind of better? I know there's a bit of reflection here on the side here. I'm gonna try to hold it there. Okay, so the next screen is your agreement with Google and all the terms and all that. If you don't agree, well, you won't be able to install it, so you have to agree. So I'm going to agree here. And the next step is going to say, well, you want to monitor, you want to back up your data inside your Google account that you've just created or you've just connected to this. I'm going to say no for this example. Then the next question here is, use Google's location service to help your apps determine where you are and offer blah, blah, blah. What you want to do is you can keep it on if you want, or you can turn it off. So if you want to turn it off, again, it's on the right-hand side, that little blue checkbox here that you just click on, and you can deactivate it or disable it. Going down, the next question is if you want to help improve Android experience, if there is an error with certain applications, and there's a pop-up that's going to ask you if you want to send all the information so that they can help you. So what you can do is that you can stick to have it enabled or disabling it. To disable or enable, you just click on the blue checkbox again on the right of the screen. Once you're all done answering these questions, there's a next button on the bottom right corner, and you click next to go to the next step. Here it says, well, you've connected to Google, you've connected to with your Gmail, you have another account that you like to connect. If you have, let's say, an Outlook, Hotmail, or Live account, you can connect to it, a Yahoo account, even Exchange account. So at work, for example, if you're at school, they use Exchange servers, and you can connect your server, your Exchange server to this. But I'm not going to do this here. I'm not doing any other logging into accounts for this purpose. You can also protect your tablet by having a password or a PIN when you start your tablet. You can activate it or disable it if you want. For this tutorial, I'm going to just uncheck that box so that I don't have a PIN. Then it's going to say, oh, that's dangerous. You want to still skip anyway? I'm going to say yes. And that's for the Android tutorial. There's a lot of reflection here, huh? And that's because I think of the sun that's coming in from my window here. I'm going to try my best here. So this is the Android tutorial. We're done with setting up the Android. So what you want to do is you want to now set up Prodigy. And again, I'm going to go into my application list, which is the icon right in the middle of the screen at the bottom with 6 round dots. So I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to have all my applications that are pre-installed when you have a new Android tablet. And what you want to do in this list, you want to find Prodigy Updater, which is going to be at the bottom. Usually they're in alphabetical order. So P is basically at the end of the alphabet, or almost, so it's going to be at the end of the list. So you're going to tap on Prodigy Updater. And if you're connected to the internet, it's going to start updating and downloading the Prodigy applications. You're going to have a pop-up. You can't really read what's on the screen. Sorry about that. It says, allow Prodigy Updater to access photos, media, and files on your device. You have to click allow for Prodigy to work. So I'm going to click allow, and then it's going to check for updates. And you got that same window. Remember, Eric, we had that window
Yes,
here previously.
got it. Now it
Now,
pops up.
now we're going to say install. So we're going to tap on install, and it's going to start downloading automatically all the 6 applications for Prodigy, for the Prodigy suite. And then after it's downloaded, it will automatically install it on the tablet. We should have created another poll, Eric, so that we can keep people busy here. And I'm very sorry again, the pop-ups, so we can't really see it. And this happens on all the webinars. It depends on the brightness of the screen and the camera I'm using. I can't really do anything with the camera I'm using, unfortunately. And the brightness of the screen, if I lower it, maybe it could work. Let me try it. I think we're going to see more reflection if I lower the brightness of the screen.
It's a little better.
It's a little better? Okay.
Yeah, and the focus is a little sharper as well. So.
But my download really slowed down. Maybe it's because I chose the United States and the Android, could it be? I'm kidding. So like I said, it's going to download all the applications and then install them automatically for you. Once you're done, we're going to go through a bit of settings and then connect the distance camera. I'm going to show you how to do this. The distance camera that comes with the Connect 12, you have 2 choices, either DSL-10 or DSL-25. The difference between the two is really the magnification level. The SL25 is 25x optical zoom, and the SL10 is the 10x optical zoom. When I talk about optical zoom or digital zoom, or optical, it's really the opticals that change position, the lenses inside the cameras that move, and that's what gives you the magnification. But when I talk about digital zoom, well, that's going to be on the sensor itself that we're going to play around in the pixels. So basically this whole procedure, if you know where you're going, I'm able to do this in about 15 minutes, this whole procedure. The long part is what we're doing right now, is the installing part. It's going to take a couple of I'd say about 1 or 2 minutes to do.
So while we're waiting for that, I can just launch a new poll and see what you guys are favorite ice cream flavor.
If there would be a bourbon flavor ice cream, that would be my choice, Eric, and I don't see it there.
Go wild, go for green tea. My personal favorite is red beans.
Red beans.
Yeah, when you go to Chinatown, they have the red bean ice cream. It's delicious. Definitely a chocolate team. 44%.
Maybe the next poll, Eric, maybe we can ask people if in their school, if you're a teacher, do you share a Connect 12? And if you're using the Connect 12, do you share that equipment, or in any equipment in that matter, you share it amongst the visually impaired student community? That could be an interesting poll to do.
I'll launch that one very shortly.
Good. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to back here, and it said that I did not choose a voice. We'll get back to that, but I can see the poll that chocolate is people's favorite.
Yep.
Followed very closely by strawberry. Then we have green tea. Never had green tea.
Green tea is good. Very subtle, but it's more of an afternoon, late night ice cream.
Not a calm ice cream.
Yes.
All right. So I know that my Prodigy and all my applications have been installed. So what I want to do is I want to find in my application list Prodigy. I'm going to close my poll right here. It's in front of my screen. And I'm going to click on Prodigy. Now, the first question it's going to ask me is to select a language. So what you want to do, any language that you want, but here I'm going to select English. And there's several English. You got a United Kingdom English, United States. I think you have 2 United States voices that you can select. So I'm going to select Heather here. And then once I've selected, you'll see a checkbox appear on the right-hand side. You just do a back on that, and back button is on the top left corner of the screen. You can choose up to 2 voices. Let's say I speak French. I can install very easily the French voice, so I can detect French, the French language on my Prodigy Connect 12. But in this case, I'm only going to install 1 language or 1 voice, which is going to be my English. But like I said, you can install a Spanish voice if you want, or 2 English voices if you want also. And then once you're ready, you click on that little paper airplane that's on the top right corner of the screen, and that's going to send it over to my download manager. It's going to download the voice and install the voice. Once that's done, it's going to check for all the licensing and all that to see if you have the rights to install the Prodigy software. And then it's going to also install the OCR engine that we use to do the OCR when we do a capture. And then once that's done, you're basically done with installing the Prodigy software suite, which is pretty straightforward. Just takes a couple of minutes because you have to wait for the download and the install. And see here, the licensing validation was successful, and you're brought to Prodigy. So what you want to do here is that you want to undock. I don't know if this is going to work here. Maybe if I can just place it like this, and whoops. Because I want you to see the side of my Prodigy Connect 12. What you want to do is you want to undock the tablet, okay, by unclipping it at the bottom, and then redocking it onto the stand. What that's going to do, I should get a pop-up on the screen. We can read it now. It's not that bad. Move it down, move it up. But basically what it says, oh, open Prodigy dock event receiver when this USB device is connected. What you want to do is there's a little checkbox. And beside that checkbox, it says used by default for this USB device. And that's what we want. So you're just going to check the little checkbox right underneath, and then click OK on the pop-up. And another pop-up will appear. We'll say allow the app Prodigy to access the USB device. And that's what we want to do. So you're going to check again the little checkbox underneath and click OK. So there's 2 pop-ups that you have to check the little box and click OK. So now Prodigy is installed. We have determined that this is my base, my station, or my stand that I'm going to be using with the tablet. And the next step, if you want to take a look at Android, you can again put your 5-finger press and hold, and you're brought into Android. Now the desktop has changed in black, which is the Prodigy desktop. And then to go back to Prodigy, you can click on the little round button at the bottom of the screen in the middle. And there's a little pop-up again that's going to appear, which you don't really see, which says select home app application. And there's 2 options, either Prodigy or Launcher 3. So what you want to do is that you want to select Prodigy and then click on Always. When you do that, your home application on this tablet now is Prodigy. So you always come back to this menu when you leave to Android. So let's go back to Android, click on the home button at the bottom, and you're going to be brought back to Prodigy automatically. Okay. So I see there's no questions. So again, feel free to ask any questions here. But basically where we're at now is to configure my distance camera. So I have here with me an SL25 or 25X camera. These cameras are from Kodak. They're called PixPro SL25. They connect through Wi-Fi, so you don't need any cables to connect to it. You need a cable to charge it. And before somebody asks in the quiz or in the chat, these batteries don't last very long. They can last you about an hour and a half, 2 hours tops. What I like to do, and we do have that in our store on the website, or you can buy it anywhere else. You can buy a little external battery pack that you can connect to it. So with a little cable, you connect the cable on the battery, and then you can just open the little door on the side of the camera, and there's a little USB connector here that you can connect my external pack. And what I did is I just put a Velcro on the back, and then I can stick it on the side of the stand, of the Connect 12 stand. And since I have a very good quality of my image here of my battery, I'm going to show you a little trick. Sometimes questions that I get that my camera doesn't want to turn on. And sometimes it's because that when we travel with this, sometimes what happens, that little yellow clip that's right there, it just unhooks a bit and the battery is up. It can just be up just a bit and the contact is not firmly down correctly. So just press on that on the battery, and that should solve the little problem of the clip, and it's going to hold it better. And then you can click the power button, which is on the side of it, and then it should turn on. So what you want to do here, once you've turned on your camera, is that in Prodigy, we're going to go into settings. And in settings, you have the option, the third option down will be system. In system, you have several things you can do: Wi-Fi setup, Bluetooth setup, software update, and amongst other things. But what I want to do is I want to go into Wi-Fi setup. First time you're going to launch this, you're going to have a pop-up. You say allow on the pop-up. After you said allow, you want to, if your Wi-Fi is off, you want to turn it on just by clicking on the Wi-Fi off option, and that's going to turn on your Wi-Fi. Once your Wi-Fi is on, you want to go into Wi-Fi networks, and inside these Wi-Fi, it's basically all your Wi-Fi that is available around you. What you want to do is that you want to find that Pix Pro-SL, in my case it's an SL25 _ 3 numbers. Those 3 numbers are unique to the camera you're using. Okay, but the rest here, the beginning part is always the same, but those 4 digits change per camera. So what you want to do is that you want to click on that, and then you're going to click on connect, and it's going to ask you a password. It's a very easy password. Every camera is the same, has the same password. You can't change it, and it's very simple to know. But it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's it. So that's the password. If you want to see what I've written, you can just click on the I button on the right of the text box. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It is also written. All this information is also written right in the back of the door with the password and the name of the network you want to connect. Once you have entered the password, you can tap on the little checkbox here. And it's going to connect to it. It should connect to my Kodak camera. And it says you are connected, mission accomplished. So now we have a camera connected to my tablet. So what you want to do, a very quick gesture that is very useful, to go back to my main menu, just 2-finger, double tap. That's going to bring you automatically to your main menu. And you'll notice there's going to be a new icon right here, which is called distance. And if I tap on distance, it's going to connect to my camera automatically, and I'll be able to use my camera. So right now I have a little whiteboard here that I've been using, and I can zoom in, zoom out, and do whatever I'd like to. So we've connected, we've resetted the whole tablet, we've connected to the stand, we've configured Prodigy to be your home application. We have connected to my distance camera. And there was one thing that I'd like to show you also that I have frequently is kind of question is, can I change the color of the keyboard, the virtual keyboard? So for this, I'm going to go into my books application just to get a text box open here. I'm going to go into my library, and then I have my keyboard that just popped up at the bottom. So what you want to do is press and hold on the @ sign. And there's going to be a little settings menu that's going to appear. Just move your finger on the settings menu, tap on it, tap on the settings menu, and you're going to get a little pop-up saying you can configure the languages of your keyboard, or you can configure your keyboard settings. So I want to choose my keyboard settings. And here there's several things I can do, but one of them is theme. If I select theme, there's all kinds of themes I can use. So if you want, let's say a white on black keyboard, you can select one here and go back using the little back on the top left corner. And the next time I'm using my virtual keyboard, it's on a white on black color theme. So that's very useful for contrast that people need. But I know a lot of people that like white on black, and that's how you would do it.
But it also uses less battery as well as when the screen is darker, it uses less power. So that's a good power saving feature. Yeah. So getting the most out of your battery. So we do have a question, Eric,
Yes.
from a user. If we want to use a camera separately from the Prodigy as a webcam on a PC, would that be possible?
Not using the Kodak camera.
Using the SL25, yeah.
Yeah, using the SL25. I don't know if the Kodak company has an application that turns the or configures this kind of camera to a webcam. That I'm not sure. I would have to take a look.
Okay, we'll look it up.
But yeah, for let's say I'm using the Prodigy Connect 12 to connect to a chat or to connect to Zoom, and I need the self-viewing camera capability. Yeah, the tablet has a front viewing camera that can be used in the Zoom application or in Teams application. Actually, my son used this when he was homeschooling for COVID in March and April. He used a Prodigy Connect 12, and using the Teams application, he was able to share and do all his homework with his class. I see there's another question. Any recommendation for Bluetooth keyboard and audio earbuds, headphones, specific brands or issues? I don't have any issues or specific brands to suggest for earbuds or earphones. Any Bluetooth earbuds or earphone or headphones can work. There is also a headphone jack on the side of the camera, on the right-hand side of the camera. But for the keyboard, that's a different thing. We all do offer at Humanware a nice keyboard for the visually impaired, for low vision. All the keys are nicely, I would say the characters on each key are very big and contrasted. And this is available through our website, but this also is configured to work with Prodigy. So if I take a look at this keyboard, on top here are the F functions. For example, the F5 function will start your settings in Prodigy. The F6 will start the magnifier application. And then you can have the F8, which is going to start your reading. And then F7 and F9, which will speed up the reading. F10 and F11 will decrease the volume. And then you have the Prodigy or the home application that you can really go back very quickly just by pressing one button. Very useful accessory that is offered right now on the Connect 12. It comes in the box. It's a special offer that we have when you buy a brand new Connect 12. It comes in the box now. But if you don't have it and you would like to purchase it, on the Humanware website, you'll find all the information. But this is the keyboard that I would recommend. Very easy to connect. If you turn the keyboard around, there's a little on-off switch. You turn it on, and then in Prodigy, you go into my settings again. Into system, and you're going to Bluetooth setup. So let's try it. I'm going to turn on my keyboard. My Bluetooth is off, so I'm going to turn it on, and it should find my device. So what the next menu is going to tell you that my Bluetooth is on, and then if you click on devices, it's going to start looking for Bluetooth devices that are around you.
Mm-hmm.
And again, by default, Prodigy is set to have audio off if you'd like to. And of course, it's not going to find it because we're live.
Yeah.
So let's see if it's going to find it. So it's finding all my, so I have my LE Boss micro sound link that I can connect to. This is my earphones that I use. Let's see if and there's a little button on the right of the on button of the keyboard that will refresh your.
There seems to be a new device now that it just popped up in your list.
There we
go.
go.
You go.
So Bluetooth Logic keyboard. So that's what we want. You press on that, you say connect, and then there's a pin that I have to enter using the keyboard. So I'm going to enter 6759117 and press enter. And I'm connected. Woohoo! So if I press OK or enter on my keyboard, I can use it. So the back button on my keyboard is right here. So if I use back, so I'm going back, back, back. If I want to exit to Android, very simple, Control Q, which is exit to Android. To come back to my Prodigy, hit the home button or the escape button here, and you're back into Prodigy. Very simple. Again, the F6 to start the magnifier. Let's start it. F6. Very nice shortcut to go into my magnifier very quickly. So again, very useful accessory. They're included right now if you buy a new Connect 12. They're included in the box. If you don't have one and you'd like to have one, again, all the information on our website. And you can connect the keyboard, you can connect earphones, Bluetooth earphones, no problem, all together. You can even, somebody had speakers and earphones connected at the same time. So, so that can be done also. Let's go into settings because sometimes questions that I get when people are setting up the Prodigy is how can I change the contrast color of Prodigy? So if I go into settings in Prodigy, select the first option on the top, user interface. There's a couple of user interface that can be used. So let me just find your, because I'm starting to talk about color, contrast colors. There's an option here, color. If you tap on that, right now we're set on black on white. I can select white on black and it's gonna automatically set it to that color scheme if I want to. But there's all kinds of nice color scheme that you can set the Prodigy Connect to it. So I'm gonna come back to my black on white because there's less refraction. And then if I go back, I like to show you also not the big carousel that I have right now. Some students or some people don't like the big icons because you're different compared to the people in class. So what you can do is hit, again, F5 if you have the keyboard, or go into the settings, and then you can go into user interface. And I'm navigating with my keyboard right now. Interface. And when you go into interface, there are a couple of new interfaces here. Starting in Prodigy 4.3, you have a standard carousel like we have, or you can have a standard tile interface, or you have a simple interface. Simple did not change. So if you know the Prodigy Connect 12, that did not have changed, but the standard tile, this is a brand new user interface. If I select that and then go back to home, you have a nice tile interface. So you got a lot more applications that fit on the screen. So you can navigate either by swiping on the screen or using the arrows on the screen. And then you can add some more applications on this interface by clicking on the add or the plus. When you see a plus, You can search on any application that is installed on the tablet. Let's show all, and then let's go get Chrome, because everybody searches the internet. So I'm going to set Chrome. So next time I'm into Prodigy, I'm going to start Chrome. I have Chrome in my Prodigy main menu. That could be very useful for a student, a very quick way of going and accessing the internet. This pop-up only pops up once in configuration. I'm going to say no thanks to this, and you're using the browser. For people that have very low vision, what I should suggest as settings is to go into Android, go into all my apps, select settings, and then in the Android settings, there is an option for accessibility. So when you choose accessibility in Android, you have several things that are offered here. You have the TalkBack. TalkBack is a voiceover, so it's going to read in all the menus for you. So you're using the Android accessibility or TalkBack when you activate this with special features. And you have captions you can use, but one of the things that I recommend turning on is the magnification gestures. So if I turn this on, you just select it and then you press on the right corner, top right corner, press that little checkbox, it's going to become green, and then that's on. What it's going to do is that if I triple tap on the screen, it's going to magnify what's on the screen. So if I do 1, 2, 3 very quickly, it's going to magnify a bit bigger, and I can use a pinch and zoom to magnify a bit more. So when you're using these applications that you've downloaded from the Google Store, this is a very quick way of getting that accessibility and knowing where or what is going on in the application. To pan in this, because you don't see the whole sentence, but to pan, you use 2 fingers to pan, and then you can read the whole sentence. Okay, and then if you have TalkBack activated, well, TalkBack is going to read what's in the screen. So very nice feature to turn on. Magnification gestures in the accessibility of Android, and to come back to normal size font, triple tap, and you're back into normal font. Very quick way of getting some more accessibility for the student.
And we have to make a difference that the built-in text-to-speech voice would be separate from the one that we've set in Prodigy, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So it wouldn't be Heather US in this case.
No, it's going to be the default Android voice. If I'm not mistaken, you can download some other TTS that are available.
Good.
In Google. So basically, this is how you set up your Prodigy Connect 12 to be used for a different student. Brand new year. You can also set up the Books application to be used, the Bookshare account. And again, I went into Books before, but you can select any one of them. If I select my library, since I'm not logged in right now in Bookshare, it's going to ask me my credentials. Once you've entered those credentials, then you can access the books that are available in Bookshare. Could be very useful. And again, in Prodigy 4.3, we've added the possibility of seeing images in the book, because in the previous versions, we only had column view or reading options, which didn't show any images in the book. So very useful. And teachers, I know that teachers in the US love to create or use this, the Bookshare account to create accounts for students and then share classroom books to the student. So there you have it, how to set up a Connect 12. So I'm open to discussions, to questions, if any, from you guys, and please ask away. You have all my full attention here and to answer all your questions. And again, use the chat, use the Q&A, and we'll get your answer for you. Now it's your time. And again, this webinar is for credits, ACV REP. 1 hour credit. I've said the opening code at the beginning, and I'll be saying the end code at the end of this webinar. Please, questions? We got a couple of minutes. Yes, we'll get I will send you the link to the recording, or just look at, yeah, we could send the link to the people that attended the webinar, but it's going to be available to everybody also on our YouTube channel. Do subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Humanware YouTube channel, and each time there's a new video, you'll get a notification and you can go and take a look at it. And the recordings will be available there. Can you show, so here's a little interesting question. Can you show the interface options again, changing from one to the other? Of course I can do that. So I'm gonna go back to my main menu. And what I wanna do is, if I'm in carousel mode or in my tile mode, you want to choose settings. The settings icon, tap on that. And the first option on the top is user interface. So tap on user interface. And then in that window, the first option on the top is interface. So tap on interface, and you got 3 different interfaces. So right now we are in standard tile interface, but if I want to go back to my carousel standard interface, I just tap on it, and then I can go back using a quick gesture, 2-finger, and double tap on the screen, and you're back into my main menu. And you see, as you can see, the screen has changed, the menu has changed. And then remember we added the Chrome application in my menu, then it should be here in my quick access menu. Ta-da! So I got my quick access, I got my Chrome application that I've added in my previous screen. Again, the quick access is to get, you can set up any number of applications that you can download from the store. You can even place the store here if you want, so show all. And then there should be a Google Store on here, or Play Store.
There you go.
Did I go too quick? I got the photos. There we go. So Play Store, I can add the Play Store, and you can have access to the Play Store directly from Prodigy. So you don't have to go into Android anymore. Everything's in there. Everything is in Prodigy.
All right, so if we can switch back to the tile mode, we do have a question about the arrows. And so Brian is asking if the arrows are selectable if we are just scrolling to them. So I believe.
So I believe you're talking about these 2 arrows here.
Exactly.
If you tap on them, it will move, it will switch. And if you tap again, it's going to loop back. So it's kind of like an endless carousel of pages. Okay, so it's going to add a 3rd page. As soon as I select another icon here, let's add the Google Calculator. So if I click on the arrow again, it added a new page. So now we have 3 pages, and it's going to move back to my first page. So you can use the swipe to change pages, but you can also use the arrows to change pages.
All right, thank you. And we also have a quick question from Diana. Can you please show how to enable and then disable the voice reading on the Prodigy carousel and menus?
Yes, absolutely. Now in Prodigy, we kind of like imitated the talkback function that is in Android. And we use our Prodigy locator that it's called. So it's going to put a rectangle or a square around what we have focus on. So it works really like talkback. But what you want to do is that you want to go into settings first. And this is a very important step. Is that your audio, which is your second option in your settings, in audio, speech. So your first option in audio. Speech menu. You want to turn this on. So I'm just going to lower the volume for now. But you want to have your speech. So settings in Prodigy, settings, audio, speech on. Once you have that, you will have the possibility of going into the buttons. So for example, here in a menu, I can scroll from each item and it's going to voice that item. So it's going to voice audio. If I go down, it's going to voice system, because you see the rectangle that has place. That's our locator. this is where we're at. So if I click anywhere on the screen, it's going to activate that system menu. So if I click here at the bottom, I'm still going into system. This is for very low vision users where I don't know where the options are and I'm unable to click on the right option. So the locator shows you which option is going to be read out and which option, when I'm going to tap on the screen, is going to be activated. But let's say I want to do a back and I can't see that back button. What you want to do is press and hold with 2 fingers. So press and hold 2 fingers on the screen. You saw that navigation is on, and the first button or the first thing that it mentioned is that it's the back button. That rectangle, it's red around the back button. So I tap anywhere on the screen, it's going to do a back. Again, if I want to go back, 2 fingers on the screen, and it says back. So navigation on, back, tap on the screen, it's going to go back. Now, in this kind of menu, you see the rectangle is in settings. So if I tap anywhere on the screen, anywhere, it's going to activate my settings. Okay, this is where it's activated. This is where our focus is. Okay, so if I want to swipe and I want to activate the magnifier, I can't go and click on that. I'm going to have to swipe until I get to my magnifier application. Just like in TalkBack and Android. In Android, you swipe until you get to the right option. And this is how that TalkBack works. This is the same procedure. So you swipe from left to right to go back in the list, or you swipe from right to left to go forward in the list. So right now my rectangle is in the magnifier. So if I tap anywhere on the screen, magnifier will be activated. I hope that answers the question. When I'm in the magnifier, I can still do my press and hold on my 2 fingers here. Oh, I selected my capture. We do press and hold with 2 fingers, and I'll loop through the menus that are on my carousel, on my button banner. Once I'm in my back, I can select back or capture or any button that I want to activate. So this is how the navigation in Prodigy works. Like I said, it's very similar to TalkBack and Android. So if you know how to use TalkBack, I think you can use the inside Prodigy or navigation system. We've tried to get the same kind of gestures and way of functioning.
Mm-hmm. And another quick one, does a simple mode show settings to get back?
Yes, so I'm going to show the simple mode. That's the only interface that I did not show. I will just turn off my audio here to go a bit quicker. Okay, so I'm going to go back to interface and select simple. Back, go back. Now remember, this is the simple mode of the Connect 12. For those of you who know or have a Mac Connect, it is not the same simple mode. The Mac Connect has several levels of simple modes that you can configure for a young student, and then once that young student grows up and wants to have more functionality, then you can move up the level. But in Prodigy Connect 12, you don't have that option. It's only one. The simple mode is only one interface. It's only these applications that you have. And yes, you have the settings application to go back to the interface that you want. Okay, so it's the same settings. It's just that you don't have the carousel, and you can also take out the calculator and the books application from this menu that can be configurable, and so that you only have magnifier and settings in this view. Okay, so this is the simple mode in Prodigy Connect 12. Any other questions?
So someone was asking if we do have a list of all the shortcuts that are included in Prodigy, but we do have an upcoming webinar that will be strictly on all the gestures and shortcuts, right, Eric?
Yes, and that's going to be in 3
believe
weeks,
it's
if I'm not mistaken, or in October, is it?
I believe it'll be
It's not the next one, it's the one after.
It will be on October 14th. That will be a Wednesday.
So we'll go through all the gestures, but no, unfortunately, we don't have a shortcut list, but that would be something, a task for us to do and make it available. I know that the APH did one for the Mad Connect, and it is available on their website. It's like a checklist that they call it.
All right.
I think, well, it's 3 o'clock, an hour webinar.